So Doctor Who is surely at this point on its last legs in terms of ratings and general popularity. The first series with Ncuti Gatwa as the Doctor was woker than woke, let's just say. And I think his upcoming second season is probably going to be the show's last for some time, because there's been no word on the renewal of the show. Gatwa and showrunner Russell T Davies, they're both expected to be leaving soon. Now, whether the show gets changed dramatically or put on ice for a while, that's not clear just yet. But what is clear is that it appears some people still haven't figured out why the show's ratings and popularity have been plummeting over the past number of years, as we've discussed. Some people just don't get it, it seems. This article is from Bounding Into Comics. Doctor Who star Varadu Sethu welcomes Dr. Woke insults. I think we're doing the right thing if we're getting comments like that. Really? You think... Okay. Where do you even start with that kind of thinking at this stage? I mean, the audience for the show, the numbers, the ratings, those things should be all that matters. Increasing the ratings as much as possible. Doing the things that draw in audiences and maintain those audiences, not driving people away. Whether the showrunners, producers, studio, or actors like it or not, the ideological direction of the show for a number of years now has alienated vast swathes of the fan base. Many fans have been complaining about Doctor Who for many years now, and they finally decided to stop watching, to go out and touch grass, right? Which is why the most recent series has the lowest rated episodes in the franchise's entire 60-year history. That's kind of a big deal. So can we ask what caused that? What caused that to happen? That's a very significant and unwanted milestone for the show, right? So a big chunk of the audience complain that the show is woke and literally express how unhappy they are, and they stop watching. So how can anyone possibly frame such an outcome as a good thing? Doing more of what made the show lose a massive amount of its audience is not doing the right thing, unless we live in some sort of upside down world. It's the exact opposite of the right thing for the show. Why I'm having to explain this, I don't know. The article continues, upcoming Doctor Who star Varadu Sethu says that, in her opinion, the fact that the BBC sci-fi series continues to receive accusations of being too woke is proof positive that she and her fellow members of the show's production team are doing the right thing. The actor who appeared in the last season episode Boom as Mundy Flynn before being cast as the Doctor's next companion, Belinda Chandra, shared her thoughts on the aforementioned line of criticism while speaking to UK news outlet Radio Times in promotion of the series' return as planned for later this year. Noting how her co-star and 15th Doctor actor Ncuti Gatwa responded to the fact that her casting would result in the TARDIS seeing its first fully non-white Doctor-companion pair by joking, "Look at us. We get to be in the TARDIS. We're going to piss off so many people." Sethu was pressed by interviewer Jimmy Famarua as to what experiences, if any, she had thus far with the more toxic elements of Doctor Who's fanbase. Yes, the word toxic gets bandied about in many franchises, it seems, to describe those people who don't like the direction their franchise has gone in. In turn, the actor recalled, "There's been a couple of Dr. Woke references or whatever, but I just think we're doing the right thing if we're getting comments like that. Woke just means inclusive, progressive, and that you care about people," added the Andor star. "And as far as I know, the core of Doctor Who is kindness, love, and doing the right thing." Well, I think that's a fascinating theory. But I think, it's just my opinion, that at its core, Doctor Who used to be about telling good science fiction stories, thought-provoking stories, interesting and exciting adventures for all the family, rather than preaching a divisive identity politics message that turns away audiences in their droves. If the people behind Doctor Who continue to do what they've been doing, well then, they can continue to expect what they've been receiving from audiences in recent years, which is to say, less eyeballs on the show and outright disdain or even apathy. I think a lot of people have just written the show off at this stage and have zero interest in giving it another chance. And really, who can blame them? So ultimately, the BBC could have chosen to creatively course correct at any time over the past number of years, if they wanted to. But they didn't. When an observable decline in ratings began, they could have chosen to change things then. And when it continued, they could have said, okay, this isn't working. Let's go back to the formula that worked. Let's listen to the fans. All right, they're telling us they don't like what we're doing. And maybe we should take them seriously, or they might just stop watching our show. But they didn't. Despite all of the backlash the show received from longtime fans for going woke, the BBC continued to pursue an unpopular direction, but there has been this stubborn unwillingness by the BBC to hear out those fans in good faith. Instead, the fans get misrepresented and scapegoated, rather than the BBC taking responsibility for the damage that's been done to the franchise and the decline in ratings. The decline in ratings, that's catastrophic. It's unsustainable for a show that costs this amount of money. It's a big budget science fiction show. It's not some low-budget reality TV show, right? It's a sad end for Doctor Who. But it's one that was inevitable. I mean, I called this out years ago. Some of us have been saying that this is what's going to happen eventually. And you could see it coming as far back as when they started down this route slowly but surely in the latter half of the Capaldi era. And then it just got worse and worse under the Chibnall-Whittaker era. And now here we are. The most recent season of Doctor Who has had the lowest rated episodes in the entire 60 years of the franchise. And now, when this series is over, it's unclear whether the series will even continue. It looks very much like Ncuti Gatwa is done with the show. It looks like Russell T Davies is going to be moving on. It's clear that the refusal to take on board fans' concerns was because ultimately the message was the priority, rather than telling good stories. But I don't need to tell you that. The message has dominated so much of pop culture in recent years. Well, the tide is turning against that. And as the saying goes, you can deny reality, but you can't deny the consequences of denying reality. Low ratings consistently are going to lead to the end of the show. And that's that. But after all these years of the BBC pursuing the same unpopular direction with the show, I think it's clear that nothing has really been learned. So it's very hard to have sympathy, to be honest. That's going to do it for today, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell to be notified of future updates. Please hit that like button. Share this video out there. Looking forward to your comments. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.